Hello, it's Henry again. I hope you're enjoying this series and your time reading and reflecting on the Psalms. Today is the 16th in this series, and I'll share with you now the 16th reason to read the Psalms every day of your life, and that's this. They are stunning in form and hold literary value. The Psalms, as I mentioned earlier in this series, were a hymn book. They were also written as poems. In fact, they were written as poems intended to be sung. Many of them have been highly cherished, not only among those who regularly read and sing them in worship services and daily devotion, but also broader audiences and even the non-religious. As an author named Chester Johnson has put it, the 150 poems constituting the psalmist have received much admiration, emulation, and enduring precedent of a long line of English and American poets. The Psalms as poetry have received the high praise of many others over the centuries, including C.S. Lewis, who insisted the Psalms always be read as poems, as lyrics with all the licenses, formalities, hyperboles, the emotion rather than logical connections, which are proper to lyric poetry. When read as poetry, we should look at the Psalms and note the unique type of poetry they offer. They're different from poetry we often know because they are not based on rhyming sound, but rhyming meter. You'll see this in the psalmist's use of parallelism. In this style, the second line advances the thought of the first, making it more specific. This is true of Psalm 1, a psalm we've reviewed quite a bit. It says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord." That's parallelism, which can also be seen in Psalm 118 and 103, among others. But there is yet another poetic style that is used in the Psalms, where each line is begun with the next letter of the Hebrew alphabet. This style is called acrostic, which I mentioned earlier in this series about Psalm 119. Other acrostic psalms are 9, 10, 25, 34, 37, 111, 112, and 145. Further, like many of our hymns, Hebrew poetry often uses old-fashioned words and usual expressions. And also, the Psalms make use of literary devices, such as simile, comparison using words like or as, "He shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water." Then a metaphor, which is comparison made not using like or as. "Many bulls have surrounded me, strong bulls of Bashan have encircled me. For dogs have surrounded me, the congregation of the wicked has enclosed me." It's Psalm 22. Then synecdoche, a part of something that stands for the whole. "Make me hear joy and gladness, that the bones you have broken may rejoice." That's Psalm 51. And then personification. Inanimate things are given characteristics of living things. So mercy and truth have met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed. Psalm 85. The psalmist applied many techniques to craft his prayers and message. The Psalms hold incredible literary value and even fascinated poets of every age. And here's where we're reminded again of the Psalms as treasure. They carry weight not only because of the way they shape us by their prayers and promises, but they're beautifully written. So let them move you. And by all means, look again to Psalms you already know. 23, 119, Psalm 1, or many other verses I mentioned earlier. Allow the literary techniques to draw you in and let you rest in God's grace. See you tomorrow.